So why do we get sick? This is the UDIN-Shocks journey. This is video number 2 with me, Richard Flook. So in the first video you came across what causes a disease, a UDIN-Shock, and how a UDIN-Shock lands in the body's master systems. And we looked at how a UDIN-Shock plugs into an organ, and I gave you examples using heart disease, cancer and depression. And in this video you'll discover the 6 places a UDIN-Shock travels to that makes us feel sick, as we follow that lady on a journey through a disease. And from this you will know energetically where you or your clients are based on symptoms, allowing you to skillfully guide yourself or them emotionally through the 6 stages of a disease. But there is a twist to this, more about that in video number 3. And in this video you'll get an answer as to why after an organ gets plugged in there is no infection, no disease and no pain, clarifying for you the delay between a UDIN-Shock and when pain, infections and disease occur. Knowing this will help you because you will understand what is happening to you or your clients as you go through the healing process. And in this video you'll uncover how pesky UDIN-Shocks cause chronic diseases such as anxiety, irritable bowel syndrome, arthritis and many more issues. When working with clients you will have a better understanding of why their chronic issue is so complex and requires extra work to clear energetically. And knowing there is a process behind these complex issues means it's possible to help heal them, giving hope to those suffering from seemingly incurable diseases. So what happens after a UDIN-Shock lands? This is the UDIN-Shocks journey, the 6 stages. So you remember, in stage 1 we had our UDIN-Shock, I'm sure, because that UDIN-Shock is what causes a disease. And remember our pesky man who said that he was sleeping with this woman's best friend? And that was unexpected and very dramatic. It was isolating where there's no strategy. And energetically, someone going through this would feel disgusted and angry about that whole situation. And the UDIN-Shock lands in all the systems of the body, in the heart, in the brain, in the guts and the water system. And when it lands, it causes a storm. And the UDIN-Shock plugs itself into an organ and switches itself on. And in stage 2, which is stress, what happens is you feel cold, you feel stressed, you don't sleep, you eat instant energy foods, which are carbs, and the plugged in organ responds by giving you more energy to solve the issue. And in stage 2, you feel scared by what has happened and you have obsessive thinking. You think, what if I had done this? What if I had not done that? And it goes around and around and around and around. And energetically, you feel fear. And in stage 3, you go through UDIN-Shock Reversal, which is a really interesting time because it's the eye of the storm. The UDIN Reversal is the calm before the storm. Because what happens in stage 3 is the energy of the UDIN-Shock does a 180. You believe the problem appears to be resolved, but it's temporary. The stress stops. The obsessive thinking goes away. You feel better, but again, it's only temporary. So in the UDIN Reversal, things feel good. And our example with this lady, she might meet someone else who becomes the love of her life. So energetically you feel relief, which is the opposite of the UDIN-Shock. So in stage 4, something else happens. And I want you to notice the delay here. So we go into the UDIN Reversal. That lands in stage 4 because in stage 4, this is where the pain kicks in. Also, it's where infections occur and where the disease actually starts happening. So what happens in stage 4 is the plugged in organ starts to change, which results in you feel hot, you sweat, you feel tired, you sleep a lot, your mind feels foggy, and you want wholesome foods such as protein and veggies. And there is this UDIN-Shock delay. Can you see the delay from when a UDIN-Shock occurs and a disease happens? That delay can be hours, can be days, can be weeks, months, or even years in some cases. And it really sucks because everything was going so well and then you get sick. So in stage 4, which is the disease, this is when you feel sick. You go to see your doctor. unpleasant symptoms and pain kicks in, and infection starts. And energetically you feel sadness. So this is stage 5, and this is the body's healing spike. And what happens is the UDIN travels all the way through all these different stages into 4 and right onto the top of that spike. And what happens in stage 5, you get headaches, you get cramping, feel faint, you get extreme pain, you get panic attacks. Why? A lot of water is used during the disease process, so in stage 5, any excess water is pushed out at that time, causing those symptoms. The most common healing spike are headaches, which are thumping headaches, are very common at this point as the body is pushing out the excess water in the brain. Headaches and other symptoms eventually do subside though. Energetically, you feel panic. And then we get on to stage 6. And in stage 6, we go through the healing process. So our UDIN travels all the way through the disease process into 4, into 5, and then into 6. So what happens is during the healing process, eventually the infection stops, the pain stops, the disease stops. But these things happen gradually. And slowly we regain our strength. You still need to rest, you're still healing, but you'll feel a heck of a lot better. And energetically, during this time, you feel resignation. So in an ideal world, life moves on. After you've completed all 6 stages, you get on with your life and you take what you've learned and you move forward, just like this lady is with the love of her life. But however, in reality, the ghost of the UDIN-Shock is still there. And if you didn't learn from the experience, the person gets a chronic disease. At worst, it could be heart disease, cancer or depression, because they're stuck somewhere in the 6 stages and can't move on. So there's also more to the story behind chronic disease in the 6 stages. For example, the UDIN-Shock can get stuck in any one of the 6 stages, causing anxiety, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, cancer, and I offer courses that explain this further. There's also the UDIN-Shock can cycle back and forth through the stages, as with eczema, irritable bowel syndrome, arthritis, and diabetes. And also, you can have multiple UDIN-Shocks happening at the same time in bipolar disorder, inflammation, and asthma. If you want to find out more about the 6 stages, there's a whole chapter in my book, Why Am I Sick?, which is available through Hay House and Amazon worldwide. And I mentioned courses. My courses are called Advanced Clearing Energetics, and they're all about how to heal chronic illness naturally. And I'll share more about how this can help you and your clients heal naturally in video number 3, if that's of interest to you. And what you'll discover in the next video is I'll uncover a common mistake that many techniques can make when looking for a UDIN-Shock, and how to quickly get to the origins of a UDIN-Shock, the real root cause of a disease, and heal it. I'll also show you how bringing together the body's master systems, the 6 stages, and that plugged-in organ is the secret to reversing disease. So see you in the next video. It's called How You Can Heal Naturally, video number 3, and the links are below.